This is the Patriots Drive Podcast.
We are all Patriots.
Where we discuss, analyze, and answer questions to all things happening in the NFL and with our New England Patriots. Now, here's your host, Cole Kelly.
Let's go!
Welcome into another edition of the Patriots Drive Podcast. Patriots take down the rival Dolphins to stay alive in the playoff race by a score 23-21. A lot of injuries on both sides of the ball for both teams. Tua was out, obviously. Teddy Bridgewater got hurt late in the game. A lot of our secondary players stepped up. We were out. Marcus Jones, you could clearly tell the difference in the kicking game and the punt return game with Miles Bryant back there instead of him. But a solid win overall to keep their season alive, basically. That if the Pats lost, I don't know if they would have been officially eliminated, but it pretty much would have wrapped it up as far as playoffs go. So staying alive, beat the Dolphins at home, possibly Slater and McCourty's last game of their Patriot tenure at home. So it was good to go off with a win if it is their last one. But I'm here with my co-host, Chase Campbell. How's it going, Chase?
It's going good. Jermaine, you asked me, we called it, man. We did say it. The defensive touchdown at this point, I think we can just count on one every freaking week. That is just how it has been going. The Patriots defense, I don't know what it is, but the Patriots defense somehow sparks the offense, sparks the rest of the team. Once they get that defensive touchdown, it's like a whole new team. And sometimes it's too little, too late, like against Cincinnati. Other times like this week, they just, it was exactly what they needed and put them in a position to continue to play good football and win. So at this point, the defense, I mean, I think you guys have seen some of the stuff. I saw one like a week ago circulating on social media, and I didn't check it, but I'm sure it's close. I know it is because the Patriots have 7 defensive touchdowns. Kyle Duggar has 3 of them. The highest, or the Ramondre has 6. He has the most on offense of any skill positions. And did Jacoby have 4? Or there was one person with 4.
Jacoby has more than 3. I know that.
So Kyle Duggar he has the most touchdowns on our team. I think Marcus Jones has 3 too, if you want to count his special teams, his offense and his defensive one. But anyways, the post I saw was that our defense and special teams is almost has as many points as our offense. And in a way that's good because our defense and special teams has been incredible this year in the return games and stuff. But then again, you're talking about your offense being outscored by your defense and special teams. That's a concern right there. So that is something that needs to be talked about and addressed. But hey, at least our defense is, putting up points every week. So
exactly. Cody, I agree. They're going to be playing this tape from this weekend's game for years to come when they're teaching offensive fundamentals for the Patriots offense. But no, that kind of tells you where we're at as far as the offense goes. When the defense is putting up almost just as many points every week, we're relying on them to stay in ball games. And to their credit, they're doing their job. They're playing absolutely phenomenal and putting points on the board, which that doesn't happen often on defense. And to the point where you just mentioned, it feels like every week it's happening. That's insane. And Jabril Peppers was asked about it after the game, just what it's like to play as a part of this defense. And he's like, I've never been a part of anything like this before. He's like, just going out there fighting with your guys and everybody's making plays. And Duggar, I know he returned punts and kicks in college a little bit, and he looked like he did on that run back. He had a nice run back there to stiff arm Bridgewater at the end too and get in for 6. So it changed the game a little bit, certainly helped us out. The defense has been balling out and creating points. Just, it's been ridiculous, the clip they're scoring points at and the big plays that they're making. It's not just a turnover. It's not just a pick. And I think they know that our offense needs it because they're running it back like, if I don't get this in, we're not putting points on the board. And to their credit, they're doing it.
Yeah, and this is Jermaine says, imagine if we had actual corners and not Miles Bryant, how much better the defense would have been. Talk about, obviously we're shorthanded without Jack Jones, Marcus Jones, but talk about how good Jonathan Jones played. And, for that matter, the safeties that were on the field, there were a lot of 4 safety sets. Jabril Peppers came in, played a lot of coverage snaps.
Forced a fumble.
Yeah, seriously. You're talking
forward
about
progress, apparently, though.
Yeah, that was so stupid. Don't even need to talk about that, right? But then Kyle Duggar has a great interception. But you're talking about, I have it right here. Tyreek Hill, right? He has 7 targets. He only has 4 catches, 55 yards, and he was targeted 4 times against Jonathan Jones, and he only had 1 catch for 4 yards. So, I mean, Jonathan Jones stepped up in a huge way. We all know how hard it is to guard Tyreek Hill. We've had to do it against when he was on the Chiefs, when he was on Miami. he's hard for anyone to stop his speed and stuff. And New England did a great job slowing down both him and Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle only had 3 catches for 52 yards on the day. 2 of them came against Kyle Duggar, the other one against Jelani Tavai. But just a great scheme. And honestly, it's what we talked about, or what I talked about coming in with the injury report, how hard it was going to be to slow these guys down. And I don't think many Patriots fans thought it was just possible to slow them down like this. But how our secondary played, that it was huge. And obviously not having to throw it downfield to these guys makes a big difference. But still, keeping Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle in check like New England secondary did, as depleted as they were, super impressive. You probably won't see it again, most likely. That was a great performance by them.
Yeah, they played their butts off, and they've been doing it every week. McCourty did have that wide open drop. I don't know what happened. It hit him in the face, or I really don't know.
Let's not make him a punt returner.
Yeah,
he literally could have fair caught it right there.
Yeah, and we've seen most of his interceptions have been like that, where it's just up in the air and he catches it. But yeah, I haven't seen McCourty drop one like that in a while, so that was tough. But I mean, overall, the offense had some spurts. The defense had some spurts. I know, like you mentioned, Tua wasn't there. That's a big difference, obviously, between him and Teddy Bridgewater. But overall, Miami's lost, 5 in a row now? It's crazy looking at the statistics of their season so far, when they've just gone on streaks of losing and winning. It's been wild. So, Carlos, we're definitely going to talk about that. Yes. Barmore had a great game. I was actually just trying to find the stat a second ago, some of his stats from this game. But he played great. Created a lot of pressure. That's the Barmore that we've been missing most of the year due to injury. And hopefully he's back, and we're going to need him next week if we want to pull off an upset against Buffalo.
Yeah, I mean, Barmore, this is what we all thought that he was going to do this whole year. Obviously, the injury hurt him and kind of stunted his development, but he has 7 pressures, 1 sack, 3 hits, 3 hurries. And honestly, the whole game, the defensive line and front 7 was getting to him. New England totaled 26 pressures on Bridgewater, and then Skylar Thompson, who came in. 2 of them turned into sacks, with Carl Davis and Barmore having the only ones. But Josh Uche, too, 6 pressures, 5 of them hurries, 1 hit. Like, the whole front 7 was getting after these guys. And that's what you got to do with these backup quarterbacks, because they're all great quarterbacks. Like, you don't make it to the NFL without being good. Now, he's not as good as Tua, but you make him uncomfortable in the pocket. You saw a couple plays where he felt rushed. He had to throw it. Then there were honestly open receivers sometimes down the field, but he felt pressure in his face. He felt it coming off the edge. He had to get it out early, and he wasn't able to hit him. So that was a huge key. 26 pressures, and then the ones that stand out, Josh Uche has 6 of those, and then Christian Barmore has 7. Just those 2 guys alone, I mean, magnificent day for them, and just tore apart the offensive line of Miami.
Yeah, they played great. And I just want to touch on Ashton's comment here. So Barmore, after he had his sack, did the Jalen Waddle Penguin celebration. My guess on why he did that was, I don't know if you saw it earlier in the game, Christian Wilkins did Judon's celebration after he sacked Mac. So I don't know if that was a little got you back on that one there. Where,
I mean, and they were teammates in Alabama too.
Exactly.
So I don't think it wasn't hostile, right? Like, they were just toying with each other. But
yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's what inspired him to do that. Like, afterwards, they were like, "Oh, if we get a sack, we got to do the Waddle if they're going to do Judon's celebration." So, but yeah, I don't think it was anything like that. But it was funny, and I don't know if you saw afterwards. Dante Hightower tweeted that that's one big ass penguin.
Yeah,
after Barmore did that, so that was funny. But Jermaine just said he saw that. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, the Pats have been counted out for a while. They haven't been playing great football. Belichick, I don't know if anybody watched the locker room celebration afterwards, but he said this is kind of the reason we won this game is we did things a lot more sound than we have in the past few. And you saw that less mistakes. You saw a little less double screen passes that we've seen every single week. They tried to screen to Jacoby about 4 different times. It didn't work any of the times. I'm not sure why they kept trying to do that, but it didn't work. We saw a couple big plays to Taekwon. We saw a decent amount of deep shots. We saw a nice big play to Hunter Henry. I think the offense looked a little better this game. Miami's defense, as much talent as they have, even though they had some guys out, they've been not great this year. So putting up 23 points and take off 6 for the defense, putting up 17 points against this Miami defense, it's still not great. This offense has a long way to go. It's not by any means a good offense. Nothing's really changed of how we felt. If they execute and their defense scores a touchdown, they have a chance to compete with some of these teams. But at the end of the day, they still don't belong in the same conversation. They're already favored to lose by 8 to the Bills this weekend. They're not in that same class right now, and that's kind of just the fact of the matter.
Yeah, it's kind of what I talked about in the pregame show is I hope this game doesn't mask or doesn't cover up how far away this team is from winning, guys. If New England somehow squeaks into the playoffs, which I hope they do, at this point, it's either squeak in the playoffs and probably get blown out by the Chiefs or the Bills. Maybe you have to play the Bengals again, or you're going to be playing for a better pick. Now, what do you want to do? And in my opinion, me and Cole talked about this right now. If we were to have lost that game last week, the Jets have the lowest pick of the 7 and 9 teams. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 teams at 8 and 8. So right now we're sitting at the 22nd pick in the draft. If we would have lost that game, we probably would have been sitting around 13 or 14. Now that's a huge difference when you're so far away. And that's just where I feel with New England. Now they're fighting for it. They probably get blown out by Buffalo, and Buffalo, if Buffalo is not playing their starters, if Buffalo isn't resting their starters. So who knows what it is, but there's so many deficiencies. There's still offensive line issues. There's still receiver problems. You could probably go out and get a bigger corner. That was the biggest takeaway that I had in the Bengals game is you have a great cornerback in Marcus Jones, but he's 5'8", having to guard 6'3" T. Higgins. That's unfair to ask him to do. We don't have very many long corners, and there's going to be a couple that I like. If you didn't watch the video or the live stream that I did, go watch the couple corners that I highlighted because they're bigger, longer dudes. But there's still so many ways to improve this roster. And I hope that, Bill and the coaching staff, and it sounds like Robert Kraft is going to have a sit down with Bill at the end of the year and, kind of outline some things and, ask him what the plan of this team is. But there's so many problems left, and there's still a way that New England can reach the playoffs, which is crazy. But there's still so many ways to improve this team offensively, more than defensively, but still you can find some defensive players that can contribute in the draft. But there's still a lot of ways to improve, and we're still sitting here talking about, hey, there's a dang good chance we make the playoffs too.
So right now, like you just mentioned, the 7 and 9 teams take up the 10th pick to the 13th pick. And now we're at the 22nd, you said. So just for some comparisons of talent, but the talent disparity between if we picked at those different spots. Just 2 years ago, the 9th pick, Pat Surtain. 10th, Devontae Smith. 11, Justin Fields. 12th, Micah Parsons. 13, Rashawn Slater. That's a lot of really talented players. Then you drop down to 22, Caleb Farley. 21, Kwity Paye. 20, Kadarius Toney. 23, Christian Darrisaw. That's not the same class of players. The amount of talent you can get from 10 to 13 is a lot better than the talent you can get from 20 to 25. It's just, it is what it is. That's kind of where we're at in the NFL, and that's how the draft goes. So I don't know. I would love to see this team make the playoffs and make a run and look like a better football team, but I just don't think this year's the year. And if next season we get better coaching, if we get a decent pick in the draft, take some good talent, improve at corner, improve at wide receiver, at tackle, all these spots we need to improve at, I think that's going to be beneficial. And I don't know. I'm so up in the air because I want the Patriots to win every single game every week. But the state of this team, looking at the long-term picture, what's going to be better for this team? Winning next week, squeaking in the playoffs, having a pick at like 20 to 24, or even now, even if we lose this game, that doesn't necessarily guarantee us a great pick. That will probably be closer to the 15 to 20 range, but that's still not great. Like, this team feels like it's a top 10 to 15 pick type team, and we might squeak in the playoffs just with everything going right for this team as far as that goes. So there's no guarantee we win at Buffalo next week. I'm rooting for us to make the playoffs. Just I want to see the Patriots win, but at the same time, it's like an interior struggle where you're like, I also want us to get a good draft pick because I know when we lose in the first round of the playoffs, we're going to flip the page and we're going to be looking at our draft pick and talking about the draft and who we can get. And at that point, if you don't win the Super Bowl, you want the best pick possible. That's kind of just how it is. But you also got to take into consideration that these guys, if they get close, if they somehow win a game in the playoffs, pull off an upset against the Chiefs, anybody can make a run when they get hot. But maybe it gives them more confidence going into next season as far as, hey, if we change this play caller and we do a couple things, maybe we'll be something. And I'd be happy with that. But like you said, I just don't want them to think, oh, maybe we can run it back with Matty P and we'll be fine, because that's just not going to go well.
Yeah, and I see what Carlos is saying here. Like, team morale, the players that are going to be on the team next year, making the playoffs 100%. Like, I'm not going to, if they make the playoffs, that's great for them. But realistically, who thinks that they're going to get the 7th seed if they make the playoffs? Does anyone think that New England's going to go in and beat the number 2 seed? Now, there's been crazier, but I don't think it's going to happen. Yeah. So I'm looking at it. The biggest thing that's going to bring free agents in is getting Matt Patricia out of the offensive coordinator role and getting Bill O'Brien in here and, making a trade for a receiver. And so, yeah, I get it. There's team morale, but there's also, you got to look at like what's best for the team now. Is it good? Is the thing that's best for New England to go into Buffalo or Kansas City or even Cincinnati and lose by 40 like we did last year in the playoffs and just be a national embarrassment in the wild card round? I mean, maybe it is, but I'll tell you what, that game last year did nothing for the Patriots. It did nothing for them. Most Patriots fans want to forget about that game. And that's how I see it going this year. Now, making it to the playoffs is great. Everyone, I would love to make it to the playoffs every year, but I just realistically, I don't see anyone, having New England making a run out of the first round out of the wild card round. So that's where I look at it and just say, what are we playing for? Yeah, I mean, beating Buffalo and Buffalo is great, and going to the playoffs is great, but like you said, only one team can win a Super Bowl this year, and we're so far off of winning a Super Bowl that we probably need the better pick. We need, to have, an offensive coordinator change. We need to have a ton of good draft picks, and I don't know. That's where I stand on it. I see Fly says that it's playoffs or bust, no playing for a draft pick. I think it's different when you're like, we're not tanking for the number 1 overall pick. We're not horrible this year where we're going to get a top 5 pick and we're just like, let's just lose every game. It's at this point, we've played 17 games and we know what our ceiling is. And we know that we're probably not going to win the Super Bowl and we're probably not going to make it out of the round. So now it's what's best for the team. Now, obviously, Bill Belichick is not going to say, let's go play for a better pick because you're playing for the playoffs. Everyone's going to try to make the playoffs. But that's just how I'm looking at it right now, saying, it's hard to be optimistic about us going into the playoffs and thinking we're going to make a playoff run, especially after what happened last year and all this. It's kind of the same trajectory. New England has not won a lot of games in the past 5 weeks. I think this was this was our second win in the last 5 games or something you just said.
Yeah. Second in the last 6.
Yeah. Second in the last 6, right? So we're 2-6 in our last 6 games. And maybe we go 3-7 in our last 7 games and we beat Buffalo and then we get in and what happens? That's just how I look at it. I don't want to sound like a downer, but we got to be real with ourselves too as Patriots fans.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. And there's no letting off the gas pedal in the playoffs. So Buffalo might throttle us 50-10. You know what I mean? There's nothing that's going to stop them from doing that. I just want to answer this real quick. How much do you think Jacoby asks for? Yeah. Jermaine says he thinks he heard around Kirk's contract as a starting point. I'm just telling you, if that's the starting point or even what he wants in general, he's not going to be here next year. Jacoby is not going to get $22 million plus a year from us. That's absurd. I know the wide receiver market's crazy, but if you were going to do that, just trade for Tyreek Hill and give him 28, give him 26, whatever he got. Like, what are we? That would be ridiculous in my eyes. That would be a poor use of funds. I want Jacoby back here, but I'm thinking more like 16 to 18, hopefully.
Yeah, I was going to shoot for probably 15 minimum, and he's probably going to demand for a little bit more than that. I'm looking at the contract right now. Tyler Lockett's making just over 17. Hunter Renfro's almost at 16. Allen Robinson, who signed with the Rams last year, is at 15.5. Like, I feel like 15 is probably the minimum and probably a little bit more than that to get him back here.
Yeah, but there's no way I'd be excited about 22 a year for Jacoby. I wouldn't. I love him, but that's too much. What's up, Griffin?
Griffin said it there. So 15
for Jacoby. Yeah, I agree. I think that's going to be the good one.
We got another spammer in the chat. Why these guys always be coming in here?
Yeah.
So,
right.
And Griffin says DeAndre Hopkins to the Pats. I'm looking at it and I'm like, the more I see it, there's always been like 1 or 2 guys that request a trade. No one saw AJ Brown getting traded last year. No one saw Tyreek Hill getting traded. It just kind of happened out of the blue, right? You start hearing rumors. People thought Deebo Samuel was going to trade. That could be DeAndre Hopkins. Another one I heard was Brandon Ayuk. And he looked dang good in the Raiders game. And I don't know if New England needs another guy like that. I think maybe you need a true X receiver that can get down the field. And I think Tyquan Thornton has shown flashes. He's shown that he can be there, but he's not a big-bodied receiver like DeAndre Hopkins. He's not a number one receiver like DeAndre Hopkins. So if someone's gonna be made available, and it is DeAndre Hopkins, and it's kind of weird to think like if Bill O'Brien comes back, what's that relationship? Because Bill O'Brien's the one that traded him in the first place. So what is that relationship going to be like? I don't know. I think everyone would love for DeAndre Hopkins to be in a New England Patriots uniform next year. I don't know how realistic it is because there's been guys that New England's been rumored to want, and Bill never goes out and trades for him.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. That would be awesome getting DeAndre Hopkins here. That would certainly change the wide receiver one debate or question that we've had for years now for the Patriots. And that would give Mac a weapon and get you to be able to see what he's got. That's really at this point what you're looking at is trying to see if he's the guy. And what better way to do that than give him a good receiver and a good offensive coordinator to actually use his talents? Because I think Mac is a talented player. He's had his ups and downs, just like the whole offense, because it's been a shit show. It's been a crapshoot with Matt Patricia calling plays. So I don't want him anywhere near this team next year. I'm sure Belichick won't fire him completely. He'll be around somehow, but I don't want him calling defense. I don't want him calling offense. I don't want him doing anything or advising anybody because I don't know. I don't think he's been useful to this football team. We're going to answer this from Sports Fan Almighty. Do you think Damian Harris is gone after the season? I'm going to say yes.
Yeah.
His injuries have been such a big concern, and he hasn't played, and Ramondre looks great. You've seen flashes from Pierre Strong and Kevin Harris. I think that just about wraps it up for Damian Harris. You saw flashes again from Harris yesterday. He gets the ball and looks really good at times, and I think he is a really good running back. I do. He never has stayed on the field. And maybe that actually helps his case to stay with the Patriots because maybe he doesn't have the market he's looking for, and maybe he takes a team-friendly deal to stay here and be a two-headed monster with Ramondre. I would love that. I just don't think that it's going to happen. I think he's going to probably take a deal. Somebody's going to give him money hoping that he stays healthy, and he'll probably take it and go there. But I think he wants to be here. I think he would take a discount to stay here. I just don't think it's going to be a good matchup with what we're looking for financially.
Yeah, I think that I've thought that he's gone, for most of the season, and especially the injuries, and Pierre Strong shown flashes. Kevin Harris has shown flashes. Ramondre's definitely surpassed him as the number one running back. As much as I'd love to have him here, if he doesn't get an offer or he, is willing to take a discount to stay here, I'd take it because I do think he's still a really good, right now he's a really good number two back. Like he's a change of pace from Ramondre. He takes blows off of Ramondre, but I think that when New England drafted the two running backs last year, that kind of was the sign that was like, hey, we're getting ready to move on from Damian Harris. Like it was, if they would have taken one, maybe, but they took two guys, both two opposite guys. You got a burner in Pierre Strong, and then you got a big physical bruising back in Kevin Harris. It just seems like they drafted those two guys to eventually replace Damian Harris because they knew he was on the last year of his contract.
Yeah, I agree. And I just put a poll up. If you guys want to vote on that, what you guys think, if Dame will be back or not next season. We can check that in a little bit. But all right, we got any more questions here we want to touch on before we do anything? Let's see. Will Mac be the starter next season? Yes, he should be. Ayuk as a Patriot, that would be nice. Put Matty P back behind the scenes as an advisor. Is
Matty P the next Ernie?
Oh my God!
I mean, he's smart. I mean, no one's questioning how smart he is at football. We're just questioning his ability to be a head coach and offensive coordinator. I mean, he hasn't had a good track record with it.
If you do the same thing like he's done, and he shouldn't be where he is right now, and that's Bill's fault.
Yeah.
But I get it. Everybody says he's a smart football mind, whatever. But if you're that smart, why would you do the same shit every week that doesn't work clearly and run the same plain offense, same plays over and over again, have horrible route spacing, your tight ends are running into each other and getting hurt, your wide receivers are running into each other. Like, everybody says he's this smart genius football guy, but what the hell are we doing here? Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I would prefer him not even anywhere, but if he's an advisor, whatever, I don't even think I'd want him advising anybody because his advice is to sit Kendrick Bourne, who's arguably our best wide receiver outside of Jacoby.
Yeah. I wanted MA football guy. Can you believe a caller into 98.5 today said all Mac does was miss open receivers? Some people act like they don't even watch the game.
I don't get it. I saw multiple things like that on Twitter too. It's like I didn't watch the same game as a lot of people because I thought Mac looked pretty good.
The most impressive throw of the day, and he made some pretty good, impressive ones, but the little out of the backfield route to Jacoby, I believe it was, like over 2 receivers, dumped it right in the basket. The other one to Tyquan Thornton. Yeah, like you can nitpick all these things. Yeah, Tyquan Thornton, Max should have led Tyquan Thornton on the touchdown that he dropped. Tyquan Thornton should have caught it too. It still hit him in the hands.
Yeah.
The Tyquan Thornton one that got challenged by Miami and New England ends up winning it still. Yeah, it could have been a little closer. He could have hit him in stride. Maybe he has a chance to outrun the guys. Like, yeah, you can nitpick on all these things, but why are we nitpicking on a second-year quarterback that has been underdeveloped? He has not had any coaching this year from a guy that has proven to, develop quarterbacks in the National Football League. Why are we nitpicking this stuff? Like, he's looked pretty dang good these last 2 or 3 weeks compared to where he was early in the year, and he's finally getting some protection. The offensive line held up a little bit better today. Obviously, that 4th down call was, and Michael Winu just got blown by on that play. That was kind of a head scratcher, but he's looked better these last 2 or 3 weeks, and it just should give us all hope that with an offensive coordinator and a good receiver, heck, Jarrett Stidham, who I think Jarrett Stidham is a good quarterback. He does not have the ability Mac Jones has, but he dominated yesterday against the number 1 defense in the NFL on a week's notice that he was starting with Josh McDaniels and Devontae Adams and then Darren Waller, right? You get a guy, some pass catchers and an offensive coordinator that can game plan. I promise you that Mac Jones can do that too. There is no doubt about it. Like, there is no doubt about Mac Jones being able to tear apart defenses like we've seen some of these quarterbacks that have been, not as good as him or not as much talent, but have better receivers and better offensive coordinators. He can definitely do that. There is no doubt about that. I have no doubt in my mind that he can do that.
I agree. And Luke, we're not saying he didn't have some overthrows. Every quarterback has some overthrows. We've seen Tua when people were raving about him being the MVP, throw it 10 yards short to Tyreek Hill and spike it into the ground. It's like, it happens. Like, you're not going to be perfect on every single throw. Mac made some really nice under pressure throws on some deep balls, and he missed a couple too. But I'm not saying Mac is this perfect quarterback who's Tom Brady and the next GOAT. I'm saying you put him in a good situation with good receivers and a good offensive coordinator. I think Mac Jones can make all the open throws and more. I think we've seen with his legs, he can create enough to keep plays alive and make some plays. And when he has a defense to pick apart and an offensive scheme that's good to do that, I think he performs really well and can take this team to the playoffs and a Super Bowl. I really believe that. If I didn't think Mac Jones was a good quarterback, we'd be talking about Mac Jones is not a good quarterback. But I think he is a good quarterback. I think it's impossible for you to say, based off this season with Matt Patricia, that he is not a good quarterback. He is in the worst situation in the NFL right now, arguably. I mean, there's probably a couple worse, maybe the Texans, but like, you're talking about bottom of the NFL as far as situations go, and you're expecting him to have success like a Patrick Mahomes or a Josh Allen. Like, it just doesn't work like that. That's not how it works. We saw flashes from Mac last year. Put him in a good system. Give him an OC, give him some weapons. Then we'll talk.
Give him an offensive line, like Griffin says right here, right?
Yes.
All the best friend for an offensive line or for a young quarterback is to stay upright, to make the game easy. When you got 6'5", 280-pound defensive lineman free running at you, it's hard. The playing the quarterback's the toughest thing you can do in any professional sport, in my opinion. And he's been underdeveloped. He hasn't had a guy that can help him, develop into an NFL system. He hasn't been able to, game plan and scheme for teams like he probably did at Alabama. And you gave him a really bad offensive line situation this year with Isaiah Wynn still starting and you drafting a rookie offensive guard that is going through a rookie season. He's having his struggles, and then Trent Brown's been underperforming. So you give him those things and then he fails. I have no problem saying, wrapping it up. But if you're not going to give him a fair chance and not going to give him any help in the world, and you think that Mac Jones can do what Tom Brady did for this organization and lead us to a Super Bowl or 2 or 3, that's not how it's going to be. I promise you. Most NFL teams have to have someone to help the quarterback. Tom Brady cannot mask every NFL team's issue. You're seeing it this year. He has good receivers and stuff, but he can't mask the issue anymore either. He did it for New England for long enough, but a second-year quarterback's not going to do that for the Patriots. And we have a lot of talent needs at a lot of positions, offensive line, receiver, a lot of places on the offense to help Mac Jones out.
And I know we've touched on this. I'm just going to make it really quick. How many quarterbacks in the NFL you think could succeed in this situation? Not a lot. Very few.
Yeah.
And Cody has a great point here, which we've talked about too. It's scary that Mac is going to have his third OC in 3 years.
Yeah.
And Bill may have ruined him. If he has a third OC next year and this offense is struggling and Mac's frustrated, I'm going to have some fear that Bill ruined him, because we saw enough flashes his rookie year that I think Mac Jones is a good quarterback. And I don't know. I don't love the situation Bill's put him in. I don't think this is how you make your young quarterback have success. You do it like the Bengals did, getting Jamar Chase. You do it like the Dolphins did, getting a stud left tackle / right tackle, whatever. Get a blindside tackle and get Jalen Waddle, a college teammate of his, and Tyreek Hill, one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. That's how you make quarterback, and give him an offensive coach. That's how you make quarterbacks have success. Put a good situation around him, and Mac Jones will do great things. The situation he's in right now, I don't blame him for being pissed off all the time and frustrated. He has been thrown in a horrible situation.
Yeah, and Jermaine says Mac is frustrated because Matty P is dumb at calling plays. You talked about how many players would succeed in this situation. How many players would want to be in this situation?
Yeah.
I don't know many quarterbacks. You're telling me Aaron Rodgers would be okay in this with Matt Patricia calling plays? Heck no. He would be throwing just as big of a fit as Mac. I wish that Mac would not, he does kind of look like a baby, but he's
how miserable was
a horrible situation.
How miserable was Brady his last season
exactly.
here? And that situation was better than this is.
100%.
Coaching and all that stuff.
Yes. Like, no quarterback wants to go through what Mac Jones is having to go through. So yeah, you're going to see some of those fits. He wants to win. He wants to be better. I know Mac Jones is not pulling a Zach Wilson saying, "No, this ain't on me." Like, I know Mac Jones says I can be better. You hear him, and Bill says, like, people know Mac Jones can be better, but he is getting handcuffed and sandbagged, and it is so bad. I feel bad for him, and I would like to see many other quarterbacks in the NFL try to play in this system, because they would be driven nuts too, and I'm sure they would have some of those problems with Matt Patricia and them. So
yeah. Apparently Rodgers is coming here next season as well.
Ramos had it first. He always has it.
Yeah, he does. He gets his scoops right after he eggs the YMCA. But all right, so no, I think Mac Jones is going to be good, and I think if for some reason we have a new OC next year and it's bad again, I think if Mac Jones ends up getting traded or cut or leaves or whatever, I guarantee he's going to find success somewhere else in a better situation, because I think he's talented. I really do. All right, let's get into. I guess I like that one. Let's get into the good, bad, injured.
Before we start that, guys, at the end of this show, we're going to be giving away this Jack Jones photo. So if you haven't already entered, I have the giveaway stuff in. But if you haven't entered, all you have to do is be subscribed and then comment in the comment section your Instagram handle, and then I'll add you into this wheel real quick. So once we're done with the good, bad, and the injured and all the other stuff, we're going to be giving this away. So if you have not already entered, you probably have about 25-30 minutes to be entered into that. And again, signed Jack Jones photo, first pick 6 against Green Bay Packers, the Aaron Rodgers. It's got a JSA cert in the back of it, so it is authenticated. So go ahead and enter that. Most of you guys are already in here, but if you haven't been on the channel yet, or if you haven't heard about it yet, subscribe, put your Instagram handle down below. About 30 minutes, we'll be giving this thing away.
Jermaine's getting antsy.
Should I cut it into like 20 pieces and just send each of you one? Is that how you want it?
There you go. That's what Jermaine wants, I think.
So
MA football guy. I'm not gonna lie. When it's funny, because one of the first things that Jason and I did together was that night when Mac Jones got picked. We did a live stream together on Instagram, I think, and I wanted Justin Fields. I did, and Mac Jones. It took me a little while, but breaking down more film of his, seeing how he meshed in this offense, I was a big fan of Mac and what he could do. I think if you just surround him with the right weapons, he's going to be good. And I have just grown a bigger fan of him the more I've seen of him, especially his rookie year. I think he's good. Cody asked, am I counted? My comment wasn't showing. Okay.
He's in. I just checked. You're in.
Good.
So no, and just a quick comment on the Mac Jones thing. With Josh McDaniels, he 100%, he is not as talented as Tom Brady. No one's saying that, but I think that pick, Mac Jones pick, fit our offense with Josh McDaniels more than any quarterback made sense because of the Tom Brady thing. You didn't see Cam Newton have much success. Josh McDaniels doesn't know how to use, and he hasn't had to use a running quarterback. And Stidham or Derek Carr weren't a good running quarterback, but they can throw the ball, and you give them, receivers down the field to throw it to. Josh McDaniels can scheme that up. So Mac Jones was the purest, and he had a record-setting year at Alabama. So he made the most sense for the scheme that was when they drafted him. Now, they obviously don't have that. Hopefully they can get someone back like that, but very few people know how to use a Justin Fields, a running quarterback, and you're kind of starting to see the Bears learn how to use him now. I just don't think that Josh McDaniels would have been comfortable with Justin Fields because he cannot throw the ball, guys. Did you see his stat line last week or this week? Like, he can't throw the ball. Yeah, he can run the heck out of the ball, but you guys really want to see another Cam Newton style offense for the Patriots? I don't. I personally don't. So Mac Jones fits what the Patriots have done with their quarterback and this offense better than anyone did out of that class. Obviously Trevor Lawrence, but we weren't going to get Trevor Lawrence. So
yeah, that would have been insane. Trevor Lawrence is very talented. He just pops off the screen more than anybody I've seen in a while as far as prospects go.
I'll click on the comment you just had again, but Luke, I agree. If Kyle Shanahan or someone had Mac Jones, I think it would be really scary.
You're talking about Brock Purdy having success in this offense. Imagine, I think Mac Jones is already a better quarterback than Jimmy Garoppolo. I think he would have more success in that 49ers offense than Jimmy G does, than Brock Purdy does, than Trey Lance does. I don't know. We're fans of Mac. We believe in him. That's what it is at the end of the day. Let's see.
Kush, we probably should be rooting, as much as it sucks, we probably should be rooting for the Bills, right? Because if the Bills win and then Kansas City loses on Saturday, there's a possibility that they have locked in the number 1 seed. So as much as it sucks, you probably want the Bills to win.
Dave Portnoy, I don't know if you saw this, asked Josh Allen to if he said he should probably sit this Sunday out against the Pats just to let him squeak in the playoffs. But so we'll see what ends up happening with that. But yeah, I believe for the Bills because that gives us a better chance of them sitting, which gives us a better chance of winning. So let's see. Yeah, Peyton and Shanahan liked Mac. I mean, there was a real consideration for Shanahan to take Mac at 3. So he's talented. He's a good quarterback. All right, good, bad, injured.
Let's do it.
All right, you want to start or you want me to?
Yeah, I'll start with the good. We mentioned him already. Christian Barmore, 7 pressures, 1 sack, 3 hurries, 3 hits. And we held and Miami's not known for their rushing attack, but they've been doing, Jeff Wilson, Raheem Mostert, they can run the ball. Held him to 86 yards on 27 carries. So the knocking out the run game was huge. I think we all knew that it was the passing game you had to stop, but knocking out the run game, making them a little bit more one-dimensional with Teddy Bridgewater, Skylar Thompson, it was, very impressive. And Christian Barmore was a stud on the interior. And I hope that he gets better and better. He gets better next week. If we make the playoffs, he gets better and he takes this momentum into the offseason. And he's a beast coming into next year. Not that he already isn't, but he just didn't make that step that we thought he would this year just because of the injuries.
Yeah, he's been hurt most of the season. I agree. Barmore is great. And if we continue to see that, his interior presence as a pass rusher with Judon and Uche, like you kind of just mentioned, that's going to be great for us next season. So seeing that game from him, seeing the little flashes of what we saw last season, that was good to see. Real quick before I move on to the next one, Damian Harris, will he be back next season? 85% of you said no. 86% of you said no. So I think most of us agree on that one. Next guy, I got Kyle Duggar. Another touchdown, another pick 6. Made some nice tackles. He's just an explosive player. And Judon said after the game, you might have to write him a blank check because he's that good. And McCourty said that Judon and Duggar are the best 2 players on this defense. Duggar's talented, man. He flies around the field. He's a physical tackler. He makes plays. He can make plays when he gets the ball in his hand. 3 touchdowns defensively, like you mentioned. That's impressive in one season. So he's the only person to do that this season. I hope he stays around for a long time because I think he's a guy that Belichick is a big fan of for sure.
And he's one of those guys where no one knew Kyle Duggar as when we drafted him in the 2nd round. And I think a lot of people were like, what the heck? What? Kyle Duggar? But now this is where Bill Belichick makes his money, is drafting these guys like Kyle Duggar. And he has been a beast for us for 2 years now, stopping the run in the passing game. He's been dynamic. And that's where I can't question Bill Belichick. But then again, he's missed on so many 1st-round talent, and you probably shouldn't miss on as many as he has. I don't know if he's trying to be, out there and, hey, let's take this guy because if he hits, then I look like a genius or something. I don't know. He's missed too many first-round talents, but he's hitting on guys like Kyle Duggar, especially in the undrafted free agency market too with the cornerbacks. He's hitting on those guys year after year. So, yeah. Next one for me, I'm going to go with Jonathan Jones. We talked about it. Down heavily at the cornerback position. Marcus Jones, Jack Jones all out, and he steps up and shuts down Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill only had 50-something yards receiving on 4 catches, and that's hard to do. I mean, Jonathan Jones, and hopefully we'll learn more about his chest injury. We'll have an update when we go live for the pregame show later this week for the Bills, but we'll have more of an update. But hopefully he's not out because Jack Jones isn't coming back. He's on IR. We don't know the status of Marcus Jones with the concussion, so we would need him, especially against Josh Allen and the Bills if they're not resting their starters.
Yeah, Jonathan Jones and that whole secondary really showed up. MA football guy, just again, Happy New Year. Thank you for swinging by again, and I'm sure we'll see you later this week. But next one for me is going to be not only the secondary, like you just kind of said, third down efficiency as far as defense goes. They were 5 for 13. Miami was, so I thought that was pretty good. And I'm going to throw in Hunter Henry there as well. 5 catches, 52 yards. He had one big one. So he made a couple big plays, and he's been kind of coming around a little bit recently.
Yeah, and that's been kind of the head scratcher all year is Mac and Hunter Henry were so good last year, especially in the red zone, and we're 32nd in the red zone scoring touchdowns.
Mac and KB in general,
right? Like Mac and all of his targets last year are struggling this year, and one of them's kind of getting screwed by the coaching staff, and the other one just there hasn't been a connection there. I don't know if they don't know how to scheme up. I think that's another thing. Josh McDaniels has experience calling plays for tight ends or, getting 2 tight end sets, and he knows how to use them. Matt Patricia has been a lifelong defensive coordinator. He doesn't know how to scheme up for those positions. And so it's been kind of sucky to see Hunter Henry, but I think ever since that Vikings game, he has played a lot better than what he has the first, part of the year. So that's been really, really good to see. I'm going to give Tyquan Thornton a good. I think he has actually been now. I think going into this year, I had a little more high expectations for him, but I think when we look back on this and realize just how bad the offense was, how we haven't really used his strength, we've taken more shots down the field with him. He had 3 catches. One of them was a touchdown, and I believe 57 yards. I don't have it pulled up. I can pull it up right here.
He had 60 total yards.
60 yards. Now he had 7 targets, so you'd like to see him catch 1 or 2 more of those balls, deep balls, and especially the touchdown. But I've been more impressed with Tyquan Thornton, and they're at least starting to take shots down the field. He had that huge drop. Was it last week? All the games are blending in against Cincinnati. Huge drop down the field. Should have been a touchdown. At least should have been a 40, 50-yard catch. So that kind of sucked last week, but this has been Tyquan Thornton, last week, 3 catches, 1 touchdown, should have had another one. You can put that on Mac too. Like that's one of, I think, his bad throws. You put it out there just a little bit more, hit him in stride. That's an easy touchdown. The cornerback doesn't even affect it, but he had a great toe tap touchdown toe tap catch on the sideline that could have easily been reversed, but he got his feet down. And so Tyquan Thornton was a good for me.
He was for me as well. Red Patriot 99. Jace just did a podcast on this past week. So after you're done here, go check that out. He did a full breakdown of a bunch of different positions. He did a great job. That was a great episode. Did it solo. So,
dude, my voice hurt after that. It's hard. It's hard not having you here, bro. If you like, just imagine talking for 58 minutes straight.
Yeah. I watched the whole thing after. I thought you did a good job, but
I appreciate it.
Yeah, no. So go check that out. He did an awesome job breaking down some positions. I was surprised to see tight end in there, but
when you
think about it though, Jonnu, if he ends up getting traded cap reasons, we have nobody behind Hunter Henry. And long-term solution-wise, I think next season's Hunter Henry's last year, right? He's on 3 or 4? 3 years?
I think Jonnu's on the 4.
Yeah,
or
Hunter Henry's on the 3.
Yeah.
So that's his net last season. So I agree. You got to start looking towards the future. You got to have a backup plan. So I wouldn't want us to do that in the first round or second round or anything, but it's something that you got to keep on the radar. So I just wanted to mention that. But yeah,
Carlos, I got you. You said that you entered. I got you in. So don't worry about that. But no, the reason I'm thinking tight end, right, too, is especially if the Bill O'Brien rumors are true. What did Bill O'Brien do with this offense? He always had Gronk and Hernandez. He was great with those 2 tight end sets. Mm-hmm. So could they Hernandez go target one?
Kill people.
And there's going to be probably one, maybe two tight ends taken in the first round. I see at least one. There possibly is two, but you could use a second or third round pick on a good tight end. And I think some of those guys, but yeah, I just threw that one in there. I just thought it was kind of a, interesting way to get Mac a pass catcher, especially with the Patriots always having a Rob Gronkowski. So,
yep. Yeah, no, I was a little surprised, but as soon as you started talking about it and you were like, unconventional way to get it, I was like, he's gonna say tight end, isn't he? And you did, and then when I thought about it, I was like, that does make sense. I mean,
it's not how I'd want to do it,
yeah,
but
I agree. You would think that paying two tight ends $30 million a year combined would be get the job done in general. So, let's see. Colin Jays, I got a Patriots helmet for Christmas and it fits now. I wear it when we're on offense during game days. Maybe take it off. Maybe don't do that.
Or put it on backwards and just mess around with it. Whichever way works, wear it that way.
Or maybe drive to the stadium and go in the game and play on offense because we could probably use you right now. Or be OC, whatever. Like, take that helmet and knock Matt Patricia out with it. Maybe try that and then call plays. So, no, that's cool. So, yeah. I agree. I thought Taekwon had a good game. He was one of the last guys I had on my list. A couple other guys, Jabril Peppers, we talked about, made a big play that for some reason got called forward progress stopping, even though I have no idea how that was called forward progress, but whatever. We still won, so it's all right. But I thought Mac did pretty solid. And as far as that goes, Jacoby was fine. He did pretty solid, 6 catches, 48 yards, and a touchdown. That's pretty much all I got as far as goods. You got anybody else you want to touch on? O-line was a little bit better.
Yeah, still 3 sacks.
Nick Folk 1 for 1 on field goals.
Yeah, that's
he missed an extra point though, so that doesn't.
Oh yeah. I don't want to put him in a good, but I've been sold on Juwan Bentley more and more this year. I just feel like his mobility's gotten better. It's not great, but it's gotten better. He's a freaking hard-nosed run stopping linebacker. And so I saw flashes again this week of him, and that's why I bring him up. I don't think he was, in the good category, but I just get more and more sold on Juwan Bentley every week. So I just want to kind of give him his recognition. I think that he's been a very consistent linebacker, not an elite level linebacker, Pro Bowl level guy, but he's been, for what this system has always had in the thumper, he's fit that very.
Uh-oh. You there?
I'm there. I just ended. I thought you left.
Okay. No, it froze on my screen. I don't know if that was for anybody else, but you froze like your last 2 words, and I didn't know when you stopped, so I didn't want to interrupt you.
Nope.
But no, Bentley, like I just said too, he's been a huge leader for this team. Everybody talks about him as the defensive leader in the room, which is surprising that Judon's not, but Judon, I guess, is a little less vocal. So he's been a captain, a big time leader for this defense, and he has been good. I agree with you. He's been a lot better this year and last year than he has been in the past. He's grown a lot as a player recently. So,
and now he's one of the longest tenured dudes on the team. I mean,
wild.
He hasn't been here. He's probably been here 5 years? I don't even know. And he's been here probably one of the longest, other than McCourty, and maybe him and John Jones were here at the same time. I mean, he's one of the longest tenured dudes on the team now.
It's like the Red Sox, their longest tenured players, like 3 years now. Outside of that, it's like 2 or 1.
Well, that's because Devers is a Chicago Cub. Welcome, Rafael Devers as a Chicago Cub.
All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up here. I gotta
go. Calls out, man. All right, I'm doing solo again.
There you go. Take it away.
Yeah.
But you got any other good ones you want to touch on, or
no? I think we're good to get into the bad.
Okay, I'm gonna start off on this one just real quick. Just Nelson Aguilar he doesn't do anything almost ever. He had no catches for no yards, no touchdowns, no nothing. A lot of nothing from Aguilar, and he's definitely gone next season. I don't know why you don't play KB instead of him, because when he's on the field, he gets targeted and makes plays. And when you throw him on the field for 2 snaps a game, and one of those snaps, I mean, he tries to be so perfect because he gets no snaps, and then he commits a penalty, and then he gets put on the bench the rest of the game. It's got to be so frustrating for him. So Aguilar, he's got to go. Along with all these bots, I don't know what the hell's going on. This
they're attracted to our streams.
I don't get it. We haven't seen them in a while, but they're back, I guess. So yeah, Aguilar's going to be the first guy I'd put on there.
Yeah, I think as bad as Jake Bailey was, I didn't think it could get worse. And Michael Pilardi is worse.
Stinks.
He's bad. I mean, His average was horrible yesterday. It wasn't even over 40. And the 2 punts that he had that were good just bounced into the end zone. So then he nets like 35 yards on both of them, and he doesn't get any down inside the 20. So Pilardi's been, I mean, I didn't think I'd ever say this, but we can't have Jake Bailey back fast enough.
He's already, he's back though. That's what's weird.
Yeah.
Like he's good to go as far as I know. Whatever. I don't know.
We didn't even talk about, was it the Bengals game where he just dropped the punt and almost got it blocked, and he catches it and then it starts falling out of his hands, and luckily it bounces right up to him. That was that's when I was kind of like, holy crap, we need Jake Bailey back bad. So
yeah. Nelson is the Miles Bryant of offense. I like that. That's funny. Pilardi should be working at McDonald's. That is true. Or make Donald. Yeah. So an off-brand McDonald's. He's not even good enough for the real McDonald's.
He's not. He really isn't.
So yeah, that's my first bad. Pilardi for you. I agree with that one as well. Can I say Miles Bryant as a returner?
Bad. Yes, please.
Nothing at all, which was weird. He looked good in the preseason, but I think we've seen Marcus Jones for so long. I just think anybody looks bad compared to him because he's been incredible.
Yeah. I'm going to put, we only had 14 total first downs. That's really low. Really, really low. And then we kind of got dominated time of possession. They had the ball for 34 minutes. We were at 26. So we talked about it. The defensive scores have kickstarted this offense and this team for the last 3 or 4 weeks and pretty much all year. So, and the offense has still been bad. So I'm going to give kind of just the whole first downs. We were 5 for 13 on third downs too. We don't move the sticks very well. That's just kind of the whole, not the whole offense, but keeping drives alive and getting first downs and moving the sticks. It seems like the Patriots, when they have it rolling, they're good. But if they are behind the sticks on first and second down, it's just going to be a 3 and out no matter what.
Everything's going to be so perfect for them to have success.
Yeah.
It's just not a good offense. That's what that means.
And I wish it could be perfect every time. We all do, but that's not going to happen. You got a good defense. You're going to get sacked. You're going to get a TFL on a run or something, and you're going to get no gain. You might get a penalty like we've gotten a lot this year, but if it doesn't go perfect, there is almost no hope that the Patriots are going to get out of the drive.
Yeah, no, I agree. And talk about guys that are going to be gone that we'll be excited about. Add Jawan Williams to that list. He's missed all season with an injury, but he'll be gone too. So we want to see him, Isaiah Wynn, Aguilar, Miles Bryant. That's going to be
our whole 2019 class pretty much gone now?
It should be.
Is he like the last one?
Might be. One of them, yeah.
Because N'Keal Harry, him, I'll have to pull that up and fact check that. But I know that the 19 class was like historically bad.
Yeah, horrendous. And that certainly doesn't help you out drafting poorly. But yeah, that's about all I had for bad. It was just kind of an average game. We talked about this before we went live. It's just there wasn't a lot of good, wasn't a lot of bad standouts. It was fine. It was all right. I was going to go into those stats as well as far as third down efficiency, first downs, all that stuff. It was all right. That's all I got for the bad. I don't know if you want to touch on anybody else.
No, I don't think I do. So
and then injuries. Jacoby Myers, he got hurt. He said it'll be good to go next week. He re-aggravated his shoulder injury. Jonathan Jones, you said chest?
Yeah.
Chest injury.
Yeah. Well, that's what he was battling all week. And they talked about, I saw a tweet, I forget who it was, but they talked about his chest injury. And he also said, yeah, I'll play. You never know though, right? Players are going to say that most of the time.
Jack Jones said that too, and he's on IR. So I don't know.
Don't say you're going to play because Bill's, no, you're not. You ain't playing. IR. You're done. So,
but yeah, so that's about all we got as far as that goes. Injuries as well. I don't know if there's anybody else that I missed.
No, that's all I had.
Yeah, so that's gonna kind of wrap up the good, bad, injured. I don't know if you want to get into anything else or just kind of the giveaway as far as that goes. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna run the ad real quick by Underdog, and then when I get back, I'll pop up the list for the giveaway. Probably give you guys like a minute or two to, if you haven't already entered, put your subscribe and put your Instagram names into the chat. So that you're entered to win, and then we'll run it. So let me run this ad real quick, and then we'll be back. Real quick, guys, we'd like to thank today's sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. With Underdog's NFL Pick'em, they make it super easy to win big on any given night. They have individual player props or daily fantasy and are legal in 41 of the 50 states. Right now, they are doubling your first deposit up to $100 when you use code PATSDRIVE or use the link in the description. All you have to do is select higher or lower and submit your wager for as low as $1 to win anywhere from 3 times to 20 times your money. You can also compete against thousands in Underdog Fantasy's daily fantasy tournaments ranging anywhere from football to baseball to basketball. Whatever sport it is, there's a tournament for you. Now with Underdog's Pick'em Insurance, you can still win money even if one of your picks does not hit. So head over to UnderdogFantasy.com or download the Underdog app. Make sure to use code PATCHDRIVE or use the link in our description to get started today. All right. I see Charlie, you're in. Griffin, I just entered yours and then I'll get yours in, Sports Fan Almighty. But let me pop up this list once I get done adding these two. And again, if you guys want in this, hurry and type in your Instagram handles and make sure you guys are subscribed to this. We'll run this in about a minute. So let me copy these over too. I have like a will to add your names to. So anything else though, Cole, before we log off? Obviously, we'll be going live for the pregame show.
Yeah, probably Wednesday, maybe Thursday.
Yep.
No, I mean, it's going to be a big game this weekend. The last thing I'll touch on before is it is possible for us to lose and still make playoffs.
Yes.
The Jets would have to beat the Dolphins. What was the other one? So the Jets would have to beat the Dolphins. Then, is it Browns? Was it the Browns game? Do you remember? You have the list up there?
I do. Let me pull it up. So here's the list. If you guys see your name spinning, you're entered. If not, go ahead and type your thing in the chat. It is, so the Dolphins would have to lose to the Jets. The Titans would have to lose to the Jaguars, and the Steelers would have to lose to the Browns. Those are the 3 ways we can get in, or those are the 3 things that would have to happen for us to get in with a loss.
Yeah. So it's still possible to make playoffs with a loss, but we'll see. If you win, you're in. And that's kind of the theme of what we're going to be rooting for is they take care of their own destiny, and we couldn't have said that a couple weeks ago. So Jermaine, is he in?
I didn't get your Instagram handle, but I have you in just as Jermaine. So if you want to give me your Instagram handle, then I can enter it. I put Burton. I don't know why I put Burton. This is you right here. If you want to give me your Instagram handle real quick, I'll throw you in. Just so, if not, I'll just run it because you'll be in here. We can get it off you if you win. If you win, right?
That's fine.
But right now, I need someone. The first number, give me a number 1 through 10 in the chat. Then I'm going to shuffle the order again, roll the win, or organize the wheel, and then we'll spin it. So someone give me a number 1 through 10, and then I'll go over and spin it again. You guys entered in right here. I know I'm super small right here, but assign Jack Jones pitcher, first pick 6 against the Packers, Aaron Rodgers, JSA cert, everything like that coming your way. So, wow. A lot of sevens. A lot of 7s and an 8. Carlos was first with 8, or do we go with all the 7s?
Let's go 7. Let's go 7.
Jay
That's
Breezy,
what I was going to say too.
Let me add this. Jay. What's his Jay Breezy? What's the number?
8136.
8136. Okay. And if I spelt it wrong, I just know it. So, okay, 1 sec. I don't want it. Okay. So 7. So I'll shuffle it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. If you guys are ready, here we go. I'll spin it. And the winner, whoever it lands on, is the winner of the Jack Jones giveaway. So good luck to you all. Thank you guys all for subscribing, for entering. Sorry it's a little bit later than Christmas with our schedules, but we're excited to do this. And hopefully with more support, we can continue to do this. So here we go. Here goes nothing. You nervous?
Gabe says it's rigged. Gabe says the giveaway is rigged. If it was rigged,
you're not even in it.
I'd be on there.
Well, Cole's name's gonna come out of nowhere. So
right. Patriots drive. Congratulations. Step up, pitcher.
Who is this guy? Do I know him? I don't know him. So we'll respin it. All right. Here we go. I'll spin it. All right. This is intense. Let's see. The winner. MA football guy, or is it going to go? That was so close. Wow. NE Patriot football.
I thought it was going to be the MA football guy.
I did too. He is. And he's the one that left early if he didn't leave early.
Yeah.
If he didn't leave early. So sorry, Griffin. I still would have found you if you would have won. But NE Patriot Football is the winner of this one. I'll make sure to reach out to him on Instagram. Charlie, you were close too. You were like 3 away. Here, let's see. I can remove this. Oh, it reshuffled. So anyways, you were dang close. You were 2 away. It scrolled right past you. One need toe. So, but anyways, I'll make sure to reach out to that. Hopefully we'll do another one.
Gabe wanted us to put him all for every name on the wheel there.
Yeah, Griffin, you were 1 away too. You were dang close. So that was fun. That was a good one. So Ryan Izzo jersey giveaway next. I think you'd be the only one to enter into that. No one cares.
Nobody else would enter that, or we'd have too many entrants. We wouldn't be able to put it on a wheel. It'd be too crazy.
Yeah. If he does not respond, we'll just keep it for next time. I guess we'll give him
I was gonna say
3 or 4 days to respond. If he doesn't, it's you guys.
If we don't get a response by next podcast, then we're gonna come back and spin the wheel again with same names on there. So
I'll keep the wheel as exactly as it is in case he doesn't reply. So Gabe_Pat's the real winner. So interesting how I was draw on the wheel.
Picture. We'll draw a picture for Gabe Pats and we can send him that one.
So all right. Well, anything else?
That's all I got. Big game coming up. We'll preview that as we said later in the week, but winning, you're in. That's about all I got.
Yeah, I mean that's what it comes down to.
Carlos is going to do anything to get that. He's going to report his accounts. He's going to report his account so we can redraw.
I guess if whatever it works. If you guys are that dedicated and it works, so.
Cody wants a Sox podcast. Jace doesn't want to do it. He doesn't want to do a Sox podcast. I'd be up here screaming all day if we did a Sox podcast right now. That'll be the next giveaway. 1 episode Sox podcast. Jace, you have to be a part of it though.
That's fine. I'll just talk Cubs and tell you guys how Rafael Devers is coming to the Cubs.
Right.
So
you know what? I got nothing.
Gabe is doing a Bill O'Brien signed socks giveaway soon, so follow him on Instagram.
Yeah.
Red Patriot. We will go eat a Big Mac. That sounds good.
That sounds delicious right now. I'm not gonna lie.
That does sound good.
I'm hungry too. It's about to be dinner. I could go for that right now.
For sure. So anyways, thanks again, guys, for all your support. Congrats to the winner. Thank you all for entering in. We'll do it again soon. Well, we don't know when, but we'll do it again for sure. With all the support, maybe throughout the offseason, the more support we're getting with the draft. That's what I'm excited for. I love the draft talk. The draft talk is going to be so fun. And this has kind of been a frustrating season to say the least. So hopefully it's not a frustrating offseason like it's been last year or like it was last year.
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited for the draft too, but we got one more game. Hopefully they finish the season out strong and maybe make the playoffs and make a run. That'd be exciting. But Carlos, Happy New Year. Thank you again for tuning in. I want that pic of Matty P on the scooter side. Oh boy. We'll have to do something funny like that at some point. Maybe we'll do that for the draft or something like that. But yeah, again, Happy New Year to all you guys. Hopefully 2023 is better for the Pats than 2022 was. It can't be that much worse, right? So happy holidays. Happy New Year, all that good stuff. We appreciate you guys supporting and tuning in and being a part of the giveaway and telling your friends, all that good stuff. So make sure you guys are subscribed. Make sure you like the videos. Give us suggestions if you guys want some clips for the off season, all that stuff. But until Thursday or Wednesday, we will see you guys later.
Thanks for listening to this edition of the Patriots Drive podcast. Follow us on social media to stay up to date with all things New England Patriots. Make sure you tune in to the next episode and check out patriotsdrive.com for more great content.
We're on to Cincinnati.